Good morning. Hi, it's Kristen. How are you? Happy Sunday. Welcome to a coffee and tech talk. True story. John was like, no one's going to come to a tech talk. Don't put that in the title. So I said, no, I'm going to because I want to see the diehards that want to speak technology on a Sunday, but we might not even do it. I don't know. How's everyone doing out there? I'm Cyberchick Boston. Started my channel in October. Small, friendly channel that we have here. We talk about cults. We talk about current events. We are going to learn together. We don't like to talk politics or the war, but we do so we can stay current and know what's going on. Hi, Bima. How are you? I actually had plans today and then they got pushed back and I thought, oh, that'll be great. I'll just go live for a little bit. I don't like when I come into the command center. This is my command center and I work from here. And I have to put the shades down. Otherwise there's this tremendous glare, but I feel like I'm in a cave. So hello to the replay people who I love so much. You guys were up late. Oh, it's Kristen's going to talk no matter what we talk about. I got up and saw, so first of all, I fell asleep during Turtle Boy's show last night. I was completely bored, just fell asleep, which is good because I needed the sleep. Hi, Liz, sweetie. How are you, honey? And hi, Ariana. I just get on and start rambling. Sorry, I should say hi to people. And it's a sister. We have a sister sighting. Hi, Lindsay. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. So I fell asleep. I woke up. I guess Jess streamed from like, I don't know. Was it midnight that you guys were on? Midnight till 2 or something? So I thought that was crazy. And Kristen, we're going to take care of that. I haven't done it in all honesty, but I will. I will email her. Hey, Dusty Rose. So we're going to talk a little bit. But before we do, let's look at some videos. Let's see what I have. Nothing exciting. I told you it's winter, the snow, there's not a lot of animals up roaming around. That's okay though. We've got one. I think maybe I have two. Let's look at my video from, I think this was this morning, actually. It's not exciting. I should just warn you. But I love that the snow is so high that the birds can come right up to the camera and go, hello. It's a blue jay. Hi. Funny. Isn't that a riot? Then the other one that I have, again, it's not exciting, so just set your expectations appropriately. Oh, sorry, I did that again. Let's remove you out. Oh, Dusty Rose, 83 sounds nice. Hey, but Bay Harbor Beauty had a fabulous show last night. I had to duck out to go have date night with my husband, but what I caught was really good. Oh, Kristen, you emailed her, good, and you got a wrench with Nurse Kim, so I now can see how easy it is to hide someone and not have them. I don't know how to unhide you. I don't see you. Bay Harbor Beauty, I just said that you guys are crazy. I woke up and saw that she streamed. It must have been midnight my time, which is just crazy. Let's go. I think I have one more. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I did have one more download. Again, it's not exciting, so set your expectations. But I like when they can come up and look at the camera because I think it's funny. I like animals. Hello. I mean, really, do we even have to play it? Isn't it just cute? It's Mr. Raccoony. Hello. I mean, so as you can imagine, the Arlo camera, when it's motion activated, so it lights up. And when it lights up, hello. Oh, hello. Okay. Just a little raccoon walking by. I'm actually excited to share the spring and summer with you because I get really good things going. Okay. Isn't it cute? It ended at almost 2 o'clock. I mean, I can't. So you guys don't sleep. Do you guys not sleep? Hi, Patrice. How are you? We're having coffee and talking tech. If you want to talk tech. If you don't want to talk tech, we don't have to. I was listening to my new friend and future nephew-in-law, Aaron, talking about the war, and they were talking a lot about Anthropic AI. And I thought, I wonder if people know what that is. So I thought I would have like a very high level AI overview if you want to talk about it, the different AI and why it's important and why. And the reason I bring it up is Trump said they're not going to use it, but they did use it. And that's common because it's so ingrained in the systems. It's not something you could turn off really quickly. So I'll talk about that, but let's check in on our future nephew-in-law and see if he's got anything for us. We'll spend a few minutes with him. How's that? Hold on. I didn't tee anything up. I literally just came in here. What's everyone doing today? I don't feel like doing anything. I saw Sister Lynn. We went for a walk. It was slippery. So when we went outside, it had been almost 50 yesterday. So there was a lot of melting. Yay. But then it iced overnight in the snow. It snowed very small amount, but enough to cover the ice. We were slipping walking. Actually, she wasn't. She has really good shoes on. I was slipping. Hold on, I'm getting a text. I always make sure that it's not critical. Okay. Let's go to Erin Parnez. Okay. And hey, Wanda. Hi, Random Brockton whore, like that you changed your name. Little bit about Aaron. Aaron is, before I bring him up, he's going to be my future nephew-in-law. He's probably going to marry Nikki, but I'm open to options. Liz, you'd be a good person too, but he's 26. I don't know if that's a little bit too late. He's super smart. He grew up in Florida, but his father's from Ukraine, and his father was connected to Trump and the Hunter Biden laptop issue. His father ended up going to jail and being indicted on some issues. But Aaron is completely his own person. He's 26 years old. He is just really smart. He's a lawyer. He went to college at 14. Okay. He was able to, in 8th grade, because he was advanced, was in Florida, was able to go to college and have those college courses count towards his high school degree. So he was getting a high school diploma at the same time as a college diploma. As you can see, I vetted Aaron. Then he went to law school. So he graduated law school, I think at 18, worked at a law firm, and also became a journalist. And now he's a social media commentary. He was initially identified as a Republican, but he's been very transparent about his shift to the Democratic Party in response to just some of his father's involvement with high-profile scandals. And he was named to Forbes 30 Under 30 in media for his influence in digital media and journalism. And I'm really always interested in the journalism in the digital age. It's quite different than how I grew up. And I'm really, I'm embracing it. And I'm getting you guys to all embrace it as well. So let me go to Aaron and see what he's got. For every single one of his videos says breaking news. Aaron, I'm on to you. It can't always be breaking news because then it's never breaking news. But he does do them in 8-minute chunks, which I like a lot. So we're going to listen to one, and then we're going to talk about OpenAI, or you guys can put in the chat, like, we're bored. We don't want to talk about OpenAI. We don't care what Anthropic API is. Shut up. I don't care. Either way, I'm good for it. And then we'll talk a little bit about yesterday and the cult that we talked about. You guys always know this.
We have major developments right now regarding the war in Iran. The United States President Donald Trump is being called out for lying to the American people concerning the justification into bringing our sons and daughters into combat into the Middle East. This morning, we learned confirmation for the first time that U.S. service members have died during combat in Iran. At the same time, the United States continues to conduct mass strikes throughout Iran using B-2
Hi, Side Eyes, Jess. Thank you for hopping on. Listen, I know that, and this is heavy, right? God bless our servicemen, especially the families of those who lost their life. I can't even imagine it. I have two boys. My youngest is turning 30 this Friday, and my oldest is 31. I couldn't imagine them going off to fight a war. So my heart goes out to them. This is only 8 minutes. I feel like if we do it together, if we do it in small amounts, and if we drink coffee while we're doing it, we're getting educated. We do need to it's really important that we're aware of it, but we won't do it for long periods of time.
Bombers for the first time overnight. Iran continues to launch retaliatory strikes throughout the region, targeting American interests along with civilian areas at hotels in Dubai, Bahrain, and elsewhere. A major development is unfolding right now, and the world needs to know about it. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You may not like the news, but the more you like, the more people see this. And please consider supporting my work. Subscribe to my Substack with the link below. Overnight, the President of the United States said that Iran just stated that they were going to hit very hard today, harder than they have ever been hit before. They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with the force that has never been seen before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It comes as we have confirmation from Jennifer Griffin at Fox News that in the past several hours, the United States military, for the first time in the second wave of strikes, used B-2 bombers that left the Whitman Air Force Base in Kansas, flew across the world, and dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs across missile sites in Iran. The damage at those sites remains unknown. But that is exactly what had happened last year when the President of the United States claimed that the nuclear sites were obliterated, even though now we're learning maybe they weren't. We do have some horrific news this morning. As of 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, March 1st, 3 service members have been killed in action, and 5 are seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. Several others sustained minor shrapnel injuries and concussions and are in the process of being returned to duty. Major combat operations continue, and our response effort is ongoing. The situation is fluid, so out of respect for the families, we will withhold additional information, including the identities of our fallen warriors, until 24 hours after the next of kin have been notified. This is the first time U.S. service members have been killed in combat during Donald Trump's war in Iran. Now, Donald Trump, remember, on his part, had previously warned the American military that this could be a likely outcome.
To kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran.
As you heard from the president's own mouth, service members may die in the line of duty. And today we have confirmation that that is exactly what happened. 3 U.S. service members have been killed, 5 others injured, and ultimately that number will only rise over the next several days and weeks as this bombing campaign in Iran will not just end today. According to reports, these service members passed away following strikes by Iran on U.S. military bases in the region, including a U.S. naval base in Bahrain. Now, if you ask a Republican senator like Lindsey Graham what this means, he would say that it's a noble death.
And if we lose anybody in this operation, they will have died a noble death because they will have risked their lives and sacrificed their lives to make us safer here at home.
If we lose anyone in this operation, they will have died a noble death. That is from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who has been one of the chief architects behind pushing the President of the United States of America into war in the Middle East, a war that is launching a full-scale regime change in the region. And a lot of Americans today are saying, did the president lie to us? On the campaign trail, Donald Trump said he was the peace president.
before we get into that, I'll take a break and just say, Genuine, is your husband being deployed? And if he is, I'm so sorry. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Service members who is previously referred to as sucker. Sister Deb, you got that. You got that. I'm behind in the chat and now I feel bad, but for anyone who's got children, spouses, parents, anyone who's being deployed, I can't even imagine.
President.
I have no words.
He ran on the, quote, pro-peace ticket alongside Vice President J.D. Vance. They told us that the Iranian nuclear sites were, quote, obliterated, that they were not going to drag us into another forever war.
You remember all the times that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance looked the American people in the eye and said they would not drag America into a war? They lied. They lied directly to the American people. Because today, Donald Trump launched a war of choice against Iran, putting American forces in danger, putting more Americans at risk. Already civilians, innocent civilians, have been killed, including school children. So what's the Trump plan? To use military force against every regime in the world that we don't like? And remember, this is the same president who tore up the agreement that had been reached to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. This does not advance America's interests around the world. It will not make us safer. It will make the world a more dangerous place for America. It may advance the political ambitions of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, but it doesn't serve the American people. It will also cost us billions of dollars and more in lost credibility around the world. Now, a lot of people are talking about the need for the president to put forward his thinking. We already know that Donald Trump simply wanted to take this strike in coordination with Prime Minister Netanyahu. It is a gross violation of the Constitution because only the Congress has the power to declare war. It's also a gross violation of international law just to go off and strike another country, however awful the government of that country may be. So Donald Trump and J.D. Vance lied to us. They lied through their teeth, and now we must do everything we can to reverse this decision. The Senate and the House should come back immediately to pass the War Powers Resolution to stop it.
What Senator Van Hollen is saying is something that a lot of Americans that I've spoken to over the past 24 hours have been feeling. They feel duped in a way. I've never once, and don't excuse this for me defending the Ayatollah or the Iranian regime, would never do that. It's a repressive, horrific regime. More about process and more about whether or not this is a war that the American wanted, that the American people needed, that the American people support today. The answer to that is likely no. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll have another update for you very soon.
Aaron, when you come on, we will be here. That's how I feel too. I'm not saying, I mean, I hate the Ayatollah. Well, I shouldn't say that. I hate the Iran regime. I hate that they passed a law that allowed old men to marry 8-year-old women or children, women, 8-year-old girls. I hate everything about that. But I also don't want a president that just launches a war without going through the checks and balances. And what's the strategy? Who are we putting in place? Do we have a right to put anyone in place? Genuine, we're going to send you so much love and hugs from the chat as your husband is going to be deployed. I can't even imagine what it's like. Hippie Chick, I like your new, look at Hippie Chick. I like your new profile picture. It's very nice. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about AI, not too much. I know it's Sunday. What's everyone feeling? So I did a cult update yesterday, and thank you to everyone who watched it. And I had some people reach out to me, which is great. Always feel free to reach out to me. And if you're going through something similar to that, or share it with people who, I just think it's an important message to get out to our young adults, young adults entering into adulthood, teenagers, young people in their 20s, to know what's out there. Oh, it's Kristen. It's been a weekend of heavy topics, hasn't it? I know. So it's crazy. So, we're in this fight with Israel. Israel and the US attacked Iran. And there's a couple of interesting things. First of all, I'm in cybersecurity. My background has been cybersecurity my entire life. And as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, because I'm so ingrained in it, Israel is a predominant hub for security companies. The company I currently work in has a significant presence there. I think every security company is either a startup over there or they have a significant presence. Do people know that? And do you know why that is? It's because really their military expertise is top notch. So their Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, every single person in Israel, whether you're male or female, you graduate high school and you go into the military and you learn cybersecurity strategies in real time. You've got cutting edge skills, hands-on experience. And because of that, they just automatically come from this national security mindset. Everyone that you talk to over there, it's sort of like talking to me, because I always look at everything through a security lens. That's what their whole country is like. So it's important just to note that, and it has nothing to do with the land or political, just the nature of their mindset is cybersecurity. Hold on, let me pause and read a little bit before I jump into all this. Oh, see, we leave this stuff to Cyberchick. and oh, sure, Bay Harbor Beauty gets to do the makeup and the skincare. I love that. So there is a connection. So they're calling this the Epstein war. And I know a lot of people automatically think like that's because they want to deflect. So Trump's deflecting from the intense scrutiny that he has under the Epstein war, the Epstein file, and he goes to war. And then anytime anyone asks him about it, it's put on the back burner because the war is front and center. I don't know. That seems a little bit far-fetched to me, but I'm not one to lend to conspiracy theories, but I don't know, maybe it is. Where I go, I'm more concerned about the tie between the Iran hackers. There's a hacktivist group called, I don't know what it's called. It's called Handle. Let me look it up. I shouldn't start talking about something that I don't know what it's called. I want to say it's Handle a Hack. Handela, the Handela hack. It's a hacktivist group. In 2024, they were able to hack the former Israeli Prime Minister Udal Barak's email and got hundreds of thousands of emails that exposed the close, tight relationship between Israel's prime minister at the time and Epstein. And in there is a lot of Trump information and ties. Excuse me. That's significant. That's huge in my, and that's not breaking news. People have been talking about that for the past 6 months. The Handela hack group actually posted or downloaded all of it to a portal. I don't even know what it's called, Hotspot or some portal that you can just go and read these emails. And it shows the coercion between the Israel Prime Minister, Epstein, Trump, well, not Trump, Steve Bannon, to be precise, and how they were going to interact with Russia. So it just goes deep. So it's interesting. That's where my mind goes with any theory of going to war against Iran. not that you asked, but I look at it more through the national security lens as opposed to, oh, it's just a cover up so he doesn't talk about it. But that's why the checks and balances are so important. And that's why we have to get people in government that we trust to begin with. So do you want to talk about OpenAI, or is this, I don't know, is this boring? Are you guys bored with this? Hippie chick, you're my friend. You look through those emails. It is interesting, right? I mean, I'm going light here on, I'm not going into the details for obvious reasons, but, or maybe it's not obvious. Hi, LH Traveler. So I'm still working and I still have a day job. So I try to, go easy on the conspiracy security theories, but look into the emails because I think you'll see an interesting, there's always a reason. People go to war. It's, we want to think it's because the regime is so horrible. And no, it's always about money and power, economic relief, money, power. So I like to research things too. Oh, it's Kristen wants to learn about AI. Okay, AI's been around forever. People, you Google search things, you're using a form of AI. What changed? I was just waiting for one person to ask. I'm like, oh yeah, let me talk about AI. So in 2017, some Google researchers came up with, a research paper. I get all excited. Yay, I can talk about OpenAI. The paper was titled "Attention is All You Need." And it came up with what's called the transformer model. I have notes. I'm reading notes. I don't have this all memorized, but I love it. I find it really interesting. So that was the first, in essence, the first LLM model, and LLM is large language model. And that's where you get into the AI. And a lot of times when you're talking about AI initially, you were talking about OpenAI. OpenAI is a company. Initially, it was non-profit. It was a research organization, but the founders were Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, like 6 or 7 heavy hitters. They all pledged $1 billion to support open research into AGI, artificial general intelligence. Well, OpenAI in 2019 transitioned into a capped profit structure, OpenAI LP, meaning they're no longer a non-for-profit. And at the same time, this is public information, so I'm not speaking as, anything else except it's public information. The same time that year, Microsoft invested $1 billion, and later they had a really deep relationship and partnership, and that continues to today. So all OpenAI models would port into products like Microsoft's cloud, which is called Azure, and Microsoft 365. So that's OpenAI. And a breakthrough moment came when OpenAI released GPT-2, which we now know as ChatGPT. Earlier models were GPT-2, GPT-3, and it was really, the clear winners in the race for AI. It was OpenAI were the winners. And that technology is based on the LLM, which I refer to as large language modeling. So think all of that was built on the transformer, which was from the Google researchers paper, "Attention is All We Need." I don't know if that's totally confusing to you, but what you should know about large LLMs, large language models, is it is really a way of regulating self-attention, self-getting, so that you can process entire sentences at once. Think about scale. You get all this information and it has a lot of intelligence around it. So now you're able to do things at scale. Really, that's what it means, is you're able to do things at scale. So whether, it'll scan books, websites, articles, code repositories. They don't know facts like database. So they don't know, but they can predict the next most likely word based on learning. So the more you feed it, the more it's trained, the more it's learning. So that's the company OpenAI. That's ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT. So I've had people say, I hate AI. I'm not going to use AI. You're using AI. Embrace AI. Learn AI. Learn a job that is around AI. It's going to be here. I grew up in technology. If you know me, I embrace technology. I remember when cell phones came out and started to get browsers, and I remember people saying, I'm never going to bank. I am never going to trade stock on a phone. I'm never going to purchase anything on a phone. And now we do everything on the phone. That's how you sound if you say you're not going to use AI. And I get all of the, the ramifications to the water that it needs, the chip and the resources that we're getting into. But we'll adapt. We'll find a way to adapt. Okay, so, well, what does that have to do with Anthropic? When they say Anthropic AI, what is that? It basically, in a way, competes with OpenAI. It's one of the founders, and I forget what his name is, I apologize, in 2021, came up with Anthropic, and it's US-based. It's an AI research and safety company. It's sort of think of the LLMs, but it's more advanced. And what they call their model, because you always have to have a cute name, the Anthropic model for LLMs is called Claude. So these models are very similar to ChatGPT, and they're used for advanced analysis, advanced reasoning, coding, but they're very specifically prevalent in government and defense. Okay, so why would you use it as opposed to OpenAI? Well, it's good to always have competing companies, first of all, because they keep everyone in a line, and you should never have a monopoly. But there's a heavy emphasis on AI safety and alignment with Claude. So they've instituted a guiding set of principles, guardrails, if you would. So from an AI use in defense context, it's really great for a government. And, they have partnerships from Amazon and Google and a lot of VC firms in Silicon Valley. So I'm going to take a break. So that's what they're talking about when they say that, the government uses Anthropic AI. Does anyone care? I haven't trusted people in government for a very long time. I know, and that's sad. And that's why we have to trust journalists, and we have to trust people who are representing what's going on in the world. Journalists, I feel like that's an old-fashioned term, but what more people like Erin who are out there, they're intelligent, and they're trying to show us both sides of what's going on. I think we need a fresh start in government. Google just made me send a picture of my license and payment method and made me think of you. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but it was actually in the YouTube Google world. I know, it's so scary, isn't it? I have to go get a tissue that I didn't bring in here. So I will be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know why I don't have tissues in here. What were we talking about? Claude. Oh, yeah. So when the government says, and Trump said, we're not using it, I think I don't think it's unlawful. I don't know if he was saying it's unlawful to use it. He ordered it banned, but it's going to be a phase out because the military systems that are using it are going to have deep integration at this point. It's not a switch that you can just shut off. It's going to take months and months, but I'm not really sure why they wouldn't use it. I don't know if it's a political reason to show that, hey, I have control over the military and what we're doing. We don't need help from AI. It could honestly be that he's pissed at whoever the founder is of Anthropic, and or they're not donating to his campaign, or they don't go for Trump. And I don't know. That's what I want to find out. Why is there a split between the Pentagon and Anthropic? And what does it mean? I don't know. Anyone know in the chat? Let me go to the chat. Does that make sense? I just want people to know what Anthropic was when they're talking about it. It's just a company. It's a company that does LLMs. Now you've learned LLMs, large language model, means that it's scalable. You're searching more things in online, so books, websites, things like that. Did everyone learn? I can hear my husband in the other room. Boring. I talk about this all the time. He's like, I don't care. Bay Harbor Beauty. Yeah, it makes sense. I know. People have different levels. What's the black thing on my screen? This thing is I know. Okay, let's talk about that. It's my mic. When I listened back, I heard feedback. How's that sound? And it's in my face. It's in my way. So I don't know. I don't know where to put it. So I put it up high, but then, yeah, then it's like, you guys are like, what is that? Do I want it here? I don't know. I don't like, it's in my, I don't know. Maybe I have a thing. Maybe I should just put it on a stand, but I like to have a lot of space for movements and typing and things. And the mic stand isn't, yeah, it's worse. Oh my God. So I don't know. Maybe I could just hide it. But it looks funny, doesn't it? It's just a microphone. It's just my microphone. I have quite a setup in my command center. Oh, it's Kristen. All right, so okay, what about Nancy? I haven't been following. Is Nancy, what are we doing? Are we still looking? Have we given up? That's my way of saying, are you guys bored on AI? Do you want me to talk about something else? You didn't even notice it. I know. Isn't that funny? No, I don't know. I usually follow Brian Enton. Okay, the CEO of the AI company doesn't want his AI used for mass tracking. Yeah, you can't, if you're putting it out there, people are going to use it. Anthropic, you mean? Side eyes, Jess, you're so smart. You asked your husband. I mean, I don't know. I don't get that, because you're in it for sales, right? You want to sell it. Hold on, let me see. Let me look at that. I'm looking at the company to see if there's a reason. Yeah, I don't really find a reason why we wouldn't use it. And then to go one step further, not that you asked, but so you have ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI, which Microsoft has invested in heavily and is a partnership. And I think we have 49% ownership, but don't quote me on that. And then Microsoft also has a AI product called Copilot, which Copilot's basically a tool that uses AI, but it's really great for coding, for really integrating into development environments like, Visual Studio Code, GitHub, M365 apps. So really focusing on complete code snippets, where ChatGPT is more conversational, more for the consumer. So you're going to use Copilot in the enterprise world, and all of these products are licensed and sold. So that would surprise me if the CEO of Anthropic was saying that, because you want to, right? It's all about sales. Use Copilot at work. Copilot's awesome. ChatGPT is awesome. I know, LH Traveler. I'm trying to embrace AI. I do miss the days before all this technology. I know. Hey, Jay, shout out to you. Feel free to comment as well. Oh, it's Kristen says, I have you on the TV. So Jay is listening. Hi, Jay. Don't judge me. This is a Sunday. We're very casual here. Very casual. Oh, you use Claude. That's interesting. I don't use Claude. I mean, I wouldn't with my background, but you never know. All right, so let me go and see. I'm going to check one more thing out before I let you guys go. I just want to see if, what is that? You guys will know. Is there anything new on Nancy? I feel sad. I feel sad for her family to just not know. I mean, what happened? Hey, Scotty, how are you? Scotty's back from Florida. Scotty, we just had an open AI discussion. You could have helped me. Side-eye Jess, your husband said that our enemies will use it and we can't be behind tech. Yeah, so there's always the ROI. What's the risk tolerance model on it? With hackers, the technology is making hackers smarter, faster. They can attack quicker, but we can also defend quicker, right? Because if we're using AI, we'll also be able to defend quicker and faster. Yeah, so it's not, hi, funeral lady, how are you? Okay, let me go. I want to check one more thing that I didn't do that I said I was going to do. Hi, styling here. Very informative. Thank you. I think it's boring, but I like it. I like to talk about technology, especially in wartime. It can change the landscape, right? Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to. Hold on. We're going to go listen to Erin. I heard Erin say something this morning. Erin doesn't know that he's part of my family. Let me see. All right, we're going to listen to one more thing that he did. I don't know if this is the one, but we'll listen. Oh, not yet. Erin. Hold on. And that is it, right? You can't be a fan of the Ayatollah. You just can't. He was so evil. So you're not shedding tears over this. You're just shedding tears over the loss of life and what we're committing to and where the checks and balances to get him there. All right, we're going to listen to one more.
Breaking news at this hour, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has died. That, according to the President of the United States of America. This afternoon, Donald Trump has all but confirmed the reports from Israeli media that the Ayatollah, Iran's supreme leader, who had been in power in Iran since 1989 for more than 3 decades, has died. This is not a surprising development, given the fact that from the moment these strikes began, we knew that Ayatollah Khamenei was the target. But now the question is, what happens next? Who takes over? And what does this mean for the Middle East? And well, in the minutes and hours after it was first reported that he has died, Iran has already launched a massive barrage of missiles at Israel, Bahrain, Qatar, and other areas throughout the Middle East against U.S. interests. I will provide you updates every step of the way. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You may not like the news, but people need to know what's happening.
Elizabeth, is he married? I need confirmation on that quickly. He's too young to be married, and he's just starting to date Nikki. That's rude. We're going to have to find out. Someone look into that.
The more you like, the more people see it. And subscribe to my Substack. Click the link below to support my work. I'm working around the clock here, and I will not stop now.
I heard you, Bay Harbor Beauty, ask what's Substack. Substack is a platform that journalists are using today to be independent journalists. So it's a tool. It has the tools that allows you to have subscribers email when you have a a story written. I don't know much about it, except that it seems to be, I don't know if it's new or if it's just something that I'm hearing more and more about. So journalists can have followers and subscriptions, and I don't know a lot about it, but it's a platform for journalists to get their information out.
This afternoon, Donald Trump confirmed to NBC News that Iranian leadership was killed in 3 attacks over the last 24 hours. In an interview with Kristen Welker, Trump said that most Iranian leaders were killed, not only from the one attack, but from 2 others. Quote, there were 3 attacks. And you know about the one that was covered, but there were 2 other attacks which inflicted very great losses on their leadership. In response to questions about when those attacks occurred, the president said, quote, over the last 24 hours. Trump said that a large number of Iranian leaders were killed in the strike, saying, I don't mean like 2 people. Asked about who will replace Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he said, I don't know, but at some point they'll be calling me to ask who I'd like. He added, I'm only being a little sarcastic when I say that, and confirmed that the United States feels that Ali Khamenei was killed in today's strikes, saying most of Iran's senior leadership, most of the decision-making apparatus is gone. Following word of Ali Khamenei's death, massive barrage of missiles started firing from Iran into Tel Aviv, Israel, with at least one making impact.
Israelis, I think that's what the calculation now is. Regime preservation. Could you get a more pragmatic figure presiding over this regime? Sure.
Aaron, I just want to break in for a moment because we're looking at live pictures in the air over Tel Aviv.
A massive strike,
That's
a massive
so scary.
strike in Tel Aviv. And it was so rough. And it's happening as we speak right now, that reporters are having to run out of the way due to the number of missiles being launched from Iran into Israel.
Massive explosions right now, rocking Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. You can hear the car alarms going off. That was an incredibly powerful explosion as the Iranians are continuing their ballistic missile fire against central Israel.
Hey, Trey, can you hear us? Don't know if Trey's got his ears in. That really sounded sounded like a missile that actually hit, as opposed to one that was intercepted. There's a bit of a different sound. You hear a very loud boom overhead, but it doesn't reverberate in the way that one does. Trey, was that a strike that actually hit the ground there?
We're not sure, John, and sorry about that. We didn't have our hearing, and that attack came very quickly with little warning.
Mm-hmm.
It's very serious what's happening right now on the ground. And it's not just in Israel, it's actually happening across the Middle East.
This is so scary. I was going to go to Israel, but in the summer, but I think it's probably going to be canceled. I don't know. I mean, Israel's used to this though, but I'm going to play it some more. I just wanted to say, I can't believe he's married. I looked yesterday. It didn't say it in his bio. I have his bio up because I was reading everything. Didn't say that he was married, not to go off topic because this is scary and upsetting, but who's going to break it to Nikki? I told her this morning I had her husband. That's scary. Okay. We'll look. I've never been on Substack. We'll look and see after this. We'll see. We'll do it together. I should sub to Aaron, although he's not going to be in my family anymore. I don't know. I have mixed family.
Strikes being reported, being targeted in Qatar, in Bahrain, and elsewhere where the United States has a military base right now. This is air defense working over one U.S. military base. Here's another example of what appears to be Patriot air defense systems working right now over military interests in the region from the United States.
Shouldn't they be in shelters? This is what I mean about Israeli is they're just used to this. The Israeli Defense Forces, they know how to do this.
Now, it's not all fine and dandy for those around the White House, those in MAGA. Tucker Carlson called Donald Trump's attacks this morning in Iran, quote, evil. Take a listen.
I've reached out to several of the president's most prominent supporters in his movement to get the reaction to this momentous decision to launch a wide-scale attack on Iran. I just heard back from Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, of course, spoke at the president's convention in 2024. He's been a frequent visitor at the White House. In fact, he was at the White House just last week. So I wanted to know what Tucker Carlson, who has long opposed the idea of another war in the Middle East, what he thought of this. And his answer, he told me of the president's decision is, quote, absolutely disgusting and evil. This is Tucker Carlson, who was at the White House just last week, said that the decision to go to war with Iran is absolutely disgusting and evil. Now, that's just one person, a prominent one in Trump's movement. But this is a momentous and potentially defining or maybe redefining move for President Trump. He got into politics in part promising to end what he called forever wars. He was harshly critical of the war with Iraq. He claimed that he had always been against it. And now he finds himself starting what could be a major conflict with Iran.
What could be a forever war in a way, another large-scale Middle East conflict that the American people do not necessarily support here. So we're going to see what happens next, but the major development is that the supreme leader of Iran has been killed. The supreme leader of Iran is likely dead. And Iran continues to launch major missile strikes across the Middle East, targeting American interests and targeting Israel and other Middle Eastern Gulf states. I'll provide you more updates every step of the way. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The more you like, the more people watch, even if you don't necessarily like the news. And subscribe to my Substack, click the link.
All right, we'll find your Substack, Aaron. Even though apparently you're not going to be part of my family, I'm very disappointed to hear that. I thought we had a good thing going there, but okay. Yeah, so I'm of the mindset that I know a lot of people from Iran, and they're here in the United States. Their family is still in Iran, and it's horrific. I mean, I don't know if you guys, I'm assuming everyone is aware at a general level of what the regime does over there and how horrific it is, specifically for women and children, and your ability to just have any rights for anything at all. So, but I just don't know if we were the ones that were to solve it. Have we solved it? Just killing, the upper level. I mean, this has been going on for decades and decades. So it's seeded in a lot. There's big problems over there. And what's the policy change going to be? I don't know. And he's married. I mean, it's just not. He got married young. Who's he married to? Does he have kids? Are they happy? I'm really surprised. Are you guys taking it as hard as I am that he's married? I don't think we have any plans over there either. That's what I want to know. What's the strategy, Doc? What's the strategy, Doc? Where's it going? Side-eye Jess, you know a lot. You have a lot of information. Pets are allowed. Typically, it's part of the plan. We have to remember they have shelters at parks for kids to run into when they play. Oh, it's a way of life there. Yeah. I can't even imagine. What's everyone doing for the rest of the day? I'm done here. I have plans. Hi, Lisa. I saw Lisa Boston Booty is in the chat, and back from Florida. We're so happy to have her back in amongst the living. Back at home with her puppies and her kids, which is good. Patrice, a lot of this has to do with rehoused beliefs that go way back before our lifetime. I don't know though, because Iran actually was in the, it was a completely different place in the 70s than it is now. We have all the restrictions, I don't know, and all the abuse. So it definitely was the regime that came in, Side Eyes Jess, I researched the PTSD involved when getting my psych degree. Oh my gosh. I do think it's interesting that the Clintons were deposed last week and we were supposed to have the transcripts immediately available. Now, I guess that's the problem with vague language. Immediately to me is within 24 hours. And here it is days later, and we don't have the transcripts. And I've seen some people saying, there's no reason to release it. Everything is fine. And I want to see it. I want transparency. I want to see the files. I want to see the depositions. I want it all. I want the information. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go. It's been delightful having coffee and tech talk with you. If anyone ever wants to go deeper into tech talk, let me know. Happy to do it. I just don't know if it's like totally boring to people or if people really like it and want to learn, or if there's something else that you want to talk about. I'm always here and always happy to do it. I am ending the stream now. I was told that I rush off the stream really quickly. So I always try to go slowly so people don't get angry. You love learning? Well, I love being here. So have a great Sunday and we will talk soon. Thank you.